Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. The one, the only, Mr. Blanco Billions.
What's up, you guys? What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Of course.
Man, we've been fans of yours and, all of Team Sesh. And basically, what put us on and inspired us to do our own thing. So, props to you and everybody else out there. Man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's kind of even deeper than that. Like I'd say that we kind of became friends almost because of it. We had gone to school back in the day, and Slayden had gone to, he'd moved out. I was still in that. And we ended up going to college together. And we saw that we were both fucking with Sesh. And so maybe we should room together, blah, blah, blah. And then a few years later in this. So it's just kind of interesting how everything works out.
Yeah, definitely. Here you guys are.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that first question.
Yeah, well, actually, first question, okay, just to fresh, man. Like, how's your day been? Like,
hey, that's what's really important.
Yeah, what have you gotten into today? And
how's man, as far as my day goes, 7 p.m. Where are you guys from, actually?
So we're in Central Time right now. It's 9:16 for us.
Okay, not too much of a difference. Yeah, man, just wrapping up the day and just got some food with my girlfriend, and here we are doing the podcast.
There we go.
Yeah, not too much.
Well, I guess my first question I have is kind of just how did you end up getting affiliated and on Team Sesh?
Oh man, this story goes back 2011, so like 7 years, I would say. I was just making music uploading to SoundCloud. I was about 14, I believe. And out of nowhere, Bones, his name at the time was That Kid.
Yep.
He just messages me on SoundCloud. It's simple. He says, "Hey, I'm in LA too. Let's get famous." And the rest is history.
There we go. Well, that's a nice little story right there. Man.
Yeah, very simple.
Okay, so when I listen to your music, it's a kind of a mixture of, I don't know how to it gives me a nostalgia for my childhood. It's also a mixture of that and like almost like swimming. Not all of your songs are like that, but I'd say kind of a general vibe I get from a lot of it. That's kind of my take on some of it. But how would you personally?
Yeah, swimming. I've never heard that before. That's definitely unique, but definitely, atmospheric, nostalgic. I like that. I would choose that over anything, to be honest. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You guys make music?
Yeah, we do. I started probably like something like that. I was like a freshman in high school and basically just started covering other people's songs, make beats to just learn how to arrange and figure out composition, I guess, and just things building over the year. I was interested in what DAW your stuff.
FL Studio, definitely.
Okay, 100%. How'd you end up, I guess, selecting or just using that one?
Pretty much just Google search the first result. It just happened to be the Ableton, but sadly FL Studio, and I can't switch now.
I hear. Yeah, I kind of no. There is, but
I feel like the transition would be pretty clean too, because I think they're very similar.
Yeah,
but I do understand it's just a whole nother program. It's just a different beast.
That's right. I know exactly where you're coming from, because 2 years ago I was into Logic and Nick put me on to Ableton, and I just haven't gone back since. So
sure. No, yeah, when FL Studio was only PC only, I literally went through like 10 different PC laptops because they were all filled with viruses and stuff, until finally it came to Mac, and I'm like, saving grace.
Yeah. Okay, so I know I see you going to. Now this is a tough question. I understand, but give me your top 3 favorite Disney movies.
Oh man, does Pixar count? I think it does, right?
Say it again.
Does Pixar count as
Yes,
Disney
for sure,
movies?
for sure.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be all Pixar then. I would say Toy Story 1, The Incredibles, and Tarzan. Yeah,
Okay, nice. Yeah. Oh, that Tarzan soundtrack is fantastic.
I know
Phil
that Phil
Collins.
Collins. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, would you say that some of those influences influence your music?
Definitely Tarzan. I like the jungle sound, you know,
Yeah.
all the percussions and just rhythmic stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. In terms of your musical projects, maybe favorite project that you've done, favorite song that you've done, and
Oh, favorite project definitely Fool, which is a abbreviation for Fruits of Our Labor.
Oh, there we go.
My
That
favorite
was one
track
of my
is actually-
questions.
Yeah, the first track from that album is probably my favorite. It's called Simple Things.
Yep.
I feel like it's one of my more complete songs, I guess you could
Okay.
say. Like it's not just a loop. It how do you say? It builds over the duration of the song. Yeah. Dynamic.
Mhm.
I know exactly what you mean when you kind of say a loop. It almost feels like less of not necessarily less of a beat, but kind of less of a beat, more of a like as its own, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
No, yeah, exactly. Because as a producer who produces for vocal artists, you tend to just make something repetitive. Vocals need to fit on it. So when you make something that is more full, then it just feels more complete, you know, as opposed to just a beat.
Yeah, exactly. And when you say loop, when I first started working, everything that I would make was it was just like, oh, yep, we make one loop and then we drag it through the whole song, and there you go. Yeah, exactly. Like, nah, that's not it.
I got one for you. I know some artists have like a story that is mysterious and they can't tell, but where does the name Blanco Billions come from?
Let me see. It goes back a couple of years as well, like 2012. My first name ever was Salty CZ. I don't know where that came from, but that's what 13-year-old me decided to choose at the time.
Hey.
But I went by Emerald Ruins. I don't know if you guys ever played Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Mystic Ruins, that was like my favorite. The soundtrack of that place was just amazing. So I just made myself Emerald as in Chaos Emerald, Ruin as in Mystic Ruins.
Yeah, I like it.
Over time, I thought, you know, I want something personal because, you know, a guy named Emerald, that's not really a thing. So I actually talked to Bones about it. I was like, hey, I'm thinking of changing my name. You have any ideas? He's like, oh, why not something like Blanco? I'm like, oh, perfect. And I added a Yamaguchi to it. So originally I was Blanco Yamaguchi. Eventually changed to Blanco Billions.
Where did the billions come from?
I like how it sounded. BB, you know, abbreviated. Very simple.
Alliteration.
Pretty much.
You just got the newest Assassin's Creed provided by your girlfriend, and first of all, I wanted to hear how that was, and maybe your favorite video games you played over time.
Oh wow! These are some good questions, guys. Appreciate them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she did give it to me recently. She saw that you know, The Weeknd, right?
Yeah.
She saw that he recently bought it, so you know she's a big fan. She's like, "Oh, I guess I'll buy it for you. I guess it's a cool thing." Yeah, that's how that came about. But yeah, I've only played like 30 minutes of it, to be honest, time, but I definitely want to sit down and get into that.
Yeah.
As far as my favorite video games, definitely Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. And at the moment, I'm actually like addicted to Fortnite. It's just so fun.
Hey, yeah. No, we
I don't
all
know.
I think every guy has to go through a Fortnite phase.
Right now, dude.
Honestly.
I much just because I'm sorry at it, and so I
Mm.
can't really get into it that much. But all of my friends play it.
Also, I feel like what's interesting about this game is that it seemed to come from nowhere and blow up overnight, even though it had like obviously has its history and foundation of it being created, but point where it's so popular that it raised the skill ceiling to where there are so many people that play Fortnite are very, it's almost a sport now. Like you can make money off of this. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's jobs. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Ninja, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, like $500,000 off of just streaming. Like that's insane.
Ridiculous.
Who would have thought?
Now I've seen you stream beats and like making beats before, which is awesome. And you might already be doing this, and I'm just not aware of it. Do you ever stream yourself playing Fortnite or other things like that?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I love video games. So as soon as I learned about Twitch, I was like, this is definitely for me. So I hopped on that. I actually have a pretty consistent schedule. I try to keep Tuesday through Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you gosh, I already lost it. Fortnite. There we go.
Yes.
What do you think about soccer cars?
Rocket League, yeah.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. When you said the first thing I thought of was the go-kart and Fortnite, and I was like, oh, he's asking, what do you think about that edition? Oh,
right. Oh yeah, I love Rocket League. I was trying to enter the championship thing they have, but I couldn't find a third teammate in time.
Oh, I know about that. Is that some sort of like what is the championship thing? Is it like some tournament that they're running?
Yeah, pretty much. What is it called? Esports. Pretty much the best of the best. $1 million prize pool this year, which is insane.
No, see, I love Rocket League. I mean, Fortnite is similar in this concept, but it's like Rocket League concept to understand like the goal of it, but the ability and like flying.
Yeah, the control,
and stuff like that.
the control of the car is just something that you have to really feel out and get an experience for to get
exactly.
good.
Yeah.
If you had any spirit animal to choose from, what would it be?
Oh man, the first thing that came to mind is a dog. Honestly, I like dogs.
What kind of dog?
It's funny because I own a teacup Yorkie, and that's the first thing that came to mind for some reason.
I love it.
Oh man,
Blanco the teacup.
Oh man, but I mean, I guess that would be it because me and my girlfriend have like this character for him where he's just this badass that like what's that one show, Phineas and Ferb, where the platypus
he's like the secret agent Perry.
Exactly, that's kind of what we have going on for him.
I love it.
Yeah,
man. So what's it like living out in California? We're over in never been out to California. I don't know if Slayden has. I've been to New York and once. A decent amount of other places, but I've never been out to California.
Oh really? Yeah. California, as far as weather goes, perfect. As far as drivers, people, not the best experience, I would say, but like anywhere you find a needle in a haystack. I don't know if that's the right term, but you know what I mean.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Where are you originally from?
Little city called Ontario, California. It's a little down
there we go.
south. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What about you boys?
Well, I'm originally from Memphis, and I've done a lot of moving
Mhm.
in Houston here, just
Really?
places. But pretty much, I've been in the South my whole life, which is something I don't really take time to think about.
Yeah.
That's odd because
Go ahead.
yeah, an accent in you.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess from moving around so much, I
Mm.
picked one up. I don't know.
For me, I've lived in Tennessee 3 months of my life. I was born in Utah, but I mean, I moved to Chattanooga with my family when I was 3 months old. So I don't. I mean that. But I moved to Nashville when I was 4 or 5. I've lived here my whole life, basically. But all of my family comes from the north, like Illinois. So growing up, I had a weird accent here because I like northern family, whatever. But over time, I've kind of started. I'll say y'all or things like that. But I don't know. Living in Nashville specifically is that it is the South, but it's become such kind of a cultural city that it's not really like you. Okay, a joke that people say in Nashville is like if you see someone walking around in boots and a cowboy hat, they're either a country western singer or they're a tourist. So it's just on some different vibes now. Like Jack White came here and he kind of brought this huge hipster wave to Nashville and kind of made it some like eclectic town of blah 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 whatever. And then we started getting more rock and all kinds of different genres in. And so it's not just like country music city anymore.
Really, at this point, like what I love is be able to help put on some kind of hip hop rap scene out here because there's such an open market and so few people out here doing it that if one person came in and did the right thing, it's game over. Like it's
just been
ridiculous.
Just country music for so long, but I mean, everyone our age is obviously listening to like rap, electric music, like all that kind of thing. And so the market is just very open here.
Do you guys think that once your peers grow up, that the majority of the population there will be listening to rap, or will it stay the same?
See, that I feel like just depends on where rap goes in the future. Like, I mean, for me, of course, I will always listen to the stuff that I've been listening to because I love that stuff. But if in the future hip hop dies off and some other form takes its place, then I mean, of course, it wouldn't be as big of a thing. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't really foresee it going away.
I mean, the way I look at it is like, okay, so rock and roll kind of came to like it started getting really big in the 60s, 70s, 80s, kind of started tapering off in the 90s a little bit.
Right.
But and I think that some of that emotion from rock translated into what rap is now. And I think that a lot of the people that might have been into that have kind of translated to hip hop. And so I think, but people still listen to rock all the time. So I think that it'll definitely still be around. But I mean, one thing that I think is interesting is that we see genres being so blended nowadays that I think in the future, well, I'd actually like to see your opinion on this. I think that it's going to start to become harder and harder to classify things based on genre because everything is so influenced and kind of mixed. What do you think about that in the future?
I mean, as far as I feel like pop music will always be pop music, very easy to identify, simple, catchy melodies. As far as I don't ever see like genres themselves, like labels for certain sounds of music ever dying out, if that's what you're asking exactly.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess maybe more of things being so labeled by many different influences influences that they're drawing from, that it could be hard to classify them specifically as one thing. But I do see what you're saying in terms of everything will probably still have one main thing, and you might be able to pull out some influences from it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, well, in terms of you and your making music, we talked about some different Disney influence, but in terms of other music that you listen to, what are some other people or different bands, things like that, that have influenced your music?
Oh man, I pretty much, I know this cliche to say, but I do listen to all kinds of music. I do like, let me see, who do I like? Oh man, on the spot it's hard to
No,
all these
I know.
Every time on the spot, it's like, oh, actually, I don't know who.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I'm gonna have to rethink this some other time because I cannot name anything.
No, that's fine. I already know how it goes. All right. Okay. In terms of, movies.
Movies, just any type of movies.
Yeah, well, Slayden's thinking of some question that I guess I have forgotten, but yeah, give me some movies that you like.
My favorite movie is probably Spirited Away. I don't know if you guys
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, very nostalgic, very well made.
Oh yeah, masterfully made.
Oh yeah. I really like the Jimmy Neutron movie for some reason.
It's funny you say that, because in the last interview that we did, that was kind of more like this instead of the like band or whatever. One of my best friends for the longest time, Davey Peppers, he's really big into film. He saw the Jimmy Neutron movie in the theaters when he was like 4 years old or something. And he walked out and said, and that was what decided, like, I'm making movies. So it's kind of funny that you say that.
Oh my God. So does he make like animation movies or?
Okay, no, I'm sure he'd be down to, but he's just been making short films. He's actually in film school right now at Southern Illinois University, but I've never met anyone more dedicated to working towards a dream than him and my wife. So I am able to do, but it does crack me up to think, like, as a kid, he walked out of the theater and he's like, yep, that's it. That's what I want to do. Make movies. It was
an amazing movie, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
You're talking about the one where the aliens take all the parents.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That tripped me when I was a kid. I was thinking, damn, if I wake up tomorrow morning and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, that movie tripped me out.
It was amazing, to say the least.
Man, it's so sad to see that cartoons have gone away, because I have two that are 8 and 9, and from the time that they started watching, film and content, whatever, anything, and up to like this point, and where I see it going in the future, they have never really gotten into cartoons, because the kids nowadays just have iPads and Netflix, and so you can always just pull it up and watch these vlogs and whatever. It wasn't like when we were kids. Oh, like Saturday morning. Yeah, Saturday. Tunes come on, pour that bowl of cereal. Let's go.
Exactly.
It's
oh
so
my God.
weird, but I mean, I guess like time's changing. That's just the way she goes.
Back in my day, I'd wake up on Saturday morning.
Yeah, really. That's weird, because that's how it's gonna be for us one day. That we'll look back.
Shut up, Grandpa.
And, yeah, exactly. Like, what? Oh, I remember using like actual Kodak disposable cameras. It wasn't just a phone,
Yeah, some of those things are coming back though.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
true.
that is kind of funny. It's kind of like the record player in a way.
Oh, definitely, with hipsters these days.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Disneyland. I've been to Disney World plenty of times, but I have never been to Disneyland. So what are some of your favorite rides at Disneyland? Or can you pick?
That you wouldn't find at Disney World?
Or either.
Let me think. Oh man, do you guys have Pinocchio over there?
Nope.
I love Pinocchio. That's probably one of my favorite rides there. All the Haunted Mansion.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my god, I love that
Is it
one.
a
The
Pinocchio ride? Like, is it a roller coaster or what kind of ride is it?
Is it like a
oh no,
story?
it's yeah, like a story, very outdated, very slow, mechanical ride. But I mean,
Okay.
nostalgia does it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny because
No, go ahead.
yeah. It's funny because we have wanting to go on vacation to Florida to visit the Magic Kingdom because the Avatar land over there. I think it's Magic Kingdom.
Oh
No. Let
it's
me tell you.
filthy.
We went
Really?
last year.
Yeah.
We went last year when they first opened. If you go, make sure you go at night because at night everything glows in the dark like the Force
Oh
does in the
yeah.
movie. And that ride where you're riding on whatever the fucking
flying thing
the
is.
dragon.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the coolest
Most
experiences I've
immersive
had.
experiences I've had
Yeah,
on a
like
ride.
Oh
the
man.
screen is from the ceiling to the floor. Like you have to stick your head
It-
out.
Aaron, but what you sit on, it like breathes the whole time. Like
Wow.
You get like
you think about
mist in
soaring
your-
on steroids.
Oh
so
man.
Yeah, it's really cool. Now, if you do go out there, I like the parks. I probably have to say Magic Kingdom is so iconic, but
Mhm.
it's so
No, Matt. There's really not much at
There-
Magic
I mean,
Kingdom.
there are some cool, like more nostalgic rides at Magic Kingdom,
Yeah.
but it's always
Yeah.
so crowded that it almost kind of takes away from some of it from me because it's also the smallest park out of the ones down there, and so it'll just get kind of claustrophobic a little bit. But I mean, it's still a good time for sure. Epcot is really cool because it's like all the different countries, but I'd say it's probably the least Disney-y, if that makes sense. But
Right.
it's definitely a good time. Hollywood Studios has more of a like roller coasters, that kind of thing, and some like really cool shows. And then Animal Kingdom has the Avatar place and like some different animal-based things. It's got a couple good roller coasters as well.
Nice. Animal Kingdom sounds like the one for me then, the Avatar land.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, I got a few music questions actually.
Yeah.
What instruments do you play?
Oh man, I actually don't play. When I was little in elementary school, I played the saxophone for a bit, but
Okay.
nothing too serious.
Gotcha. I'm assuming like you obviously mess around since you do MIDI and
Oh yeah.
yeah. With your composition and just making songs overall,
Mhm.
do you usually default to manually putting in the MIDI notes or playing them?
So the way it's set up, I don't know why my computer like it has a delay when you input something. So no matter what I play, I have the mouse and manually select every note and put it in time. So kind of a mixture.
Gotcha. Okay, for sure. And what kind of gear, like whenever you're working on things, are you working mostly in the box with the VSTs that you have, or are you routing into or like using any external synthesizers? And
Oh no, I've bought one synthesizer that routes into your computer, and I don't know, it was a mess for me. I just like everything in the box, the components.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. And especially for the convenience of travel, like you don't have to worry about,
definitely.
I can't get this sound because it's back in the studio.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
definitely.
Okay, so this earlier today, actually, I hadn't heard it, but I was to Crystal Camp, and that's definitely got to be one of my new favorites of yours. But I think my all-time favorite song from you is "Hope You Know." The first time I heard it, it just sniped me. I don't know. I don't know. I just going through some like lady stuff, and it was just like
oh my god,
it got me. It's good stuff. So in terms of like singing or anything else like that, do you have? This is horrible, but do you have any other tracks that you sing on, and do you plan on making more?
Oh man, if I could, I would definitely be a singer over a producer any day. But sadly, I don't like that
No, I
song.
hear you, man.
Hope just I like it, but it's I don't know, not enough to switch over to full time vocal artist.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I would love to be a singer as well, but I'm kind of in the same boat. It's just
Oh yeah,
trying to get better. But a funny thing,
exactly.
I saw 50 Grand said something the other day along the lines of he used to be really bad at singing, but he practiced it a whole bunch. And now, I mean, I listen to him sing and it blows my mind. So it kind of gave me some inspiration of, all right, just keep trying. Come on. So,
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
guess
I
there's
mean,
always some hope.
with practice you could do anything. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
What about in the this next no, let's not even say a year. In the next few years, what are your sort of goals, or where are you trying to get to in the next couple years? And
Oh man,
it's kind of hard to say.
Oh
But
yeah.
what kind of dream
No,
do you
I mean
have for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, since high school, every time I'm asked this question, it's very anxiety because
yeah,
no,
I
for
hear
sure.
ya.
I mean, you never know where you could end up and what you have to do to get there. I don't know. I guess just I don't even know. This is like one of those things where you have to sit down and actually think really hardly about it.
Do you have a certain direction that you're working towards,
Or are you just kind of
or
going?
are you just going?
Honestly, I'm just kind of winging it at the moment. No real plans.
But honestly, there's something kind of freeing about that. Just kind of doing your thing, and that's that.
But we are both in this existentialism class right now, and long story short, we're talking about how we only ever experience the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever you say you're just kind of winging it and going with what's happening now, that's sometimes the best way to go about things, because if you're too invested in where you want to be, that could, whatever action you put in place to get there, sometimes can fuck that up because you're compensating for the fact that you're over analyzing where you're trying to go, or you just miss what's going on now, opportunities and experiences. So I feel like that kind of is, I mean, I'm the same way. I have somewhat of I do have this dream and this dream, but I try to stay with just going for it.
Yep.
Right.
Just doing your best in the moment at the time.
That's interesting. Speaking of the fuck, I can't say the word, but yeah. What do you boys think about the simulation theory?
Ooh.
Yeah. Man. Okay. Basically, what I think about it and this is kind of a cop out to some extent, but I think that it's definitely plausible. Even if I think it's definitely plausible, but I think that I wouldn't necessarily change anything about how I'm living or anything along those lines, if that makes sense. It very well could be a simulation, but it almost makes no difference to me, if that makes sense. What do you think?
Right. I mean, the idea of it is just fascinating to me. Whether it is or not, I agree, it doesn't really affect me because I mean, it feels like
what do you do about it?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the idea, you guys are familiar with Elon Musk's theory, right?
Yeah.
Either humans keep evolving to the point where we make this simulation or we just die out, either or. And I just think it's interesting that we could be someone's playing a video game and we're the characters.
Yeah.
It's a little more freeing because then you feel like your decisions aren't yours to make, which leads to like less regret and just
Yeah,
interesting.
you know, just
exactly.
everything.
I've kind of been
Yeah.
thinking about some of those concepts recently. Like, okay, so I recently changed my major to philosophy, so I've been getting spoonfuls of this kind of thought just daily. But
Right.
let's see. Well, now that I've said that, I got to reformulate what I was going to say.
You want to think about it?
Okay, no, I actually know. So, one of my friends the other day in class said a 3-dimensional object has a 2-dimensional shadow. So, a 4-dimensional object in that idea would have a 3-dimensional shadow. And so, all I've been able to think about since then is, am I a 3-dimensional shadow of some 4th-dimensional being? And could that 4th-dimensional being be some sort of accumulation of every instance of my life from, and I'm just the reflection of the current moment passing time? And so I kind of think, even if that's not it, I kind of think that either everything in our life is already kind of laid out and we're just kind of walking through it in a kind of Donnie Darko kind of the line in front of him kind of thing.
Great
Or even if it's not that, kind of that just based off of our life experience and our genetics, every decision we make, we would already make based off of who we are as people and what we've experienced in life. Although it feels like we're making decisions, it's almost already pre-planned that it wouldn't be any other way, if that makes sense. What do you
And
think?
that's what you believe, that our destiny is pretty much pre-made for us?
See,
there we go.
I don't know. It's something that I think about a lot, but I don't know if I could definitively say that is what I believe. But it's something that I've been thinking about a lot, I'll say.
Right. I feel like that would be a scary thing to believe in, that anything you do, like, you have no control of it.
Right.
I don't know.
Yes.
I like to think that I have free will to do what I want to do, I guess.
Now, the thing with what I was just describing is, even if that was true, it would still feel like you had free will, because it's not like I have knowledge of what is going to happen. Does that make sense? Like, even if it already is, like, it would still feel like I was making decisions, but maybe it's how it would be anyways. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of like the simulation theory. Whether it is or not, it still feels like real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen this YouTube channel called Kurzgesagt in a nutshell?
Can't say that I have.
Okay. All right. Well, because see, it's a German channel, and
I feel like you would like it a lot, honestly.
Here's how to spell it. So, for everyone listening, it's Kurzgesagt. So
I'll send you the link after this.
Definitely.
It's a German channel that does animations and talks about deep concepts or just things overall that are very interesting.
In English?
They have. One video in specifically that they had changed the way I viewed life. Probably a year ago, it was this video called Optimistic Nihilism, and it basically says that we don't where we are, like if this is a simulation, what is the universe really? But what we do have is sliver of time that is finite. So we can't do everything. But the fact that we can't do everything makes the things that we do choose to do that much more special. And that the fact that we only have one life and
that we don't live forever. Like
yeah,
time
that it's
Yeah.
that it's one,
out.
and that the end of the universe, from the time you die to the end of the universe is like a blink of an eye, because you don't experience it, and every wrong that you've done is forgotten.
Hmm.
And so
as is every right.
there's
Yeah.
a liberation in that of even though it can be scary that nothing that you do matters, the
It's also
fact
liberating.
that it doesn't matter means that you can embrace everything you do. And just you talking about having free will and the liberation of that kind of reminded me of that topic. But yeah, you should definitely check out some of their videos.
They have a
Yeah,
wide
definitely.
range of different videos, from stuff like that to like setting up a base on the moon to what if we dropped a nuke in the Mariana Trench, like all
Yeah,
kinds of
just
different stuff.
crazy stuff.
Oh wow, I appreciate the recommendation. That definitely sounds interesting.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, do you have any other?
Well, now that you asked me,
Now I'm putting you on the
yeah,
spot.
on the spot, no, of course not.
Oh man.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. This has been a great conversation, honestly.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you guys.
Is there anything that you want to say to the
Yeah, or
audience?
plug or just say
some
in
kind of
general.
No, I mean, just thank you, anyone that's listening. Thank you for the support. Shout out to Just Two Guys Talking. I really enjoyed this one. You guys, I like how you guys asked me about oh, I see you at Disneyland all the time and all that stuff like that. I appreciate you guys taking the time to look into who your guests are, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Definitely.
keep on going.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, there we go. Blanco Billions, Just Two Guys Talking. There we go.
Thank you
All right.
guys.
Cool.